The numbers are there. Not that there will be an attack on February 2nd. No. But it's easy to find patterns after an event, isn't it? And it's not necessarily correct to really apply these patterns to predict future events, but I am convinced that all the elements I've mentioned, numerology, astrology, sacred geometry, are in place for an event that could result in significant loss of life. The fact is, February 1st and 2nd is an important day in the occult calendar. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. The stage does seem set. You see, anybody wishing to become a member, there are no commercials, by the way, on Mojo Radio, Talk Radio for Guys, AM 640, here with a view from space. We've played them all. Yeah, we just played them all. But you heard every single one, didn't you? And no sponsor was harmed in the exercise. Now we have some time to spend together. Now, anybody wanting to become a member of a satanic organization has to go through a waiting period. Did you know that? Oh, yes, you do. 1 year and 1 day. So, if somebody wishes to join a satanic church on September 10th, say, of 2000, they cannot be formally considered a member until September 11th of 2001. And that is precisely what happened on 9/11. The terrorist attack of 9/11 occurred exactly 1 year, 1 day after the closure of what's called the State of the World Forum, which was the final stage of putting in place the Antichrist program, the New Jerusalem Covenant. By the way, guess where the meeting was held? New York City. 1 year, 1 day later, that conference location was baptized with fire by 2 airline crashes into 2 of the tallest buildings on Earth, the 2 Babel Towers of Earth. So the Satanic Conference holds true to form. The events that transpired 1 year and 1 day later on 9/11 would be the confirming proof that the evil pact was accepted by Satan into his program of inserting himself directly and physically into the human race. And it seems that Satan has begun turning the wheels of the actual Antichrist program, where he will appear physically in bodily form to take control of this entire planet. So what does all this have to do with February 2nd, 2004? Tomorrow. Well, February 1st of 2003, the Columbia broke out. Mysteriously. Just broke apart on final entry into Earth's atmosphere in the skies above the deserts of southwestern United States. See, Columbia is the name of the mythical goddess America. It was actually a pseudonym for the goddess Ishtar of Babylon. The destruction of Columbia, by its very name being the symbolic embodiment of the United States, is a subtle yet very real occult indicator that America's days as an independent nation are gone forever. In an occult sense, the destruction of Columbia was like a satanic ritual sacrifice. It was. And it can be taken as a foreshadowing of the real, final, complete destruction of the United States power. At least this is how the occult theoretical doctrine is apparently supposed to be understood. Now, if this symbology is valid, and nobody knows for sure, but if this theory is correct, and if we are in the process of the completion of the 1 year and 1 day ritual, then what would follow logically would be the destruction of the United States power, or at least significant loss of power, on the 1 year, 1 day rule. And the day I'm talking about, the day I'm concerned with, is February 2nd, 2004. It's 1 year and 1 day after the Shuttle Columbia tragedy, the sacrificial offering. Talk radio for guys, Mojo Radio, AM 640, it's the Spaceman. So I can take a call. Sydney, you're on with Space. Go ahead.
Hi, just wanted to tell you a little bit about the back door that's making the rounds. This is the history of the Promise, the software, and that's the back door that's spying on everybody. In the first place, it was invented by Bill Hamilton, and he was known as Inslaw. And he rented it to the Department of Justice, but they wanted to own it. He didn't want them to own it. So he sued them, and he won $6.1 million, but then the D.C. court overturned the decision, and he lost what he had invented, which was Promise software. Then the Department of Justice gave Promise to the CIA. Then a CIA agent by the name of Riconoscuto put a trapdoor in the Promise so that they could eavesdrop on all the other nation clients, about 88 of them. Now, he confessed that he did this. He got 30 years for narcotics, a phony narcotics thing, and he is now in jail, I guess, still in jail. After that, this Earl Bryan, who was owner of UPI, takes Promise. Once it's got the back door, he takes Promise to Israel in 1987. Then the British publisher Robert Maxwell starts distributing Promise on behalf of the Mossad.
He's dead now too, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
Maxwell died, and then
very suspiciously. So the real back door that's been making the rounds ever since the CIA put the trap door in it. Every nation in the world has all their information's going out through that back door. And of course, as I said, Earl Bryan, who owned UPI, takes Promise. In 1987, he demonstrated it in Israel.
You're talking UPI, United Press International, correct?
Yes.
Everybody reads them every day. Go ahead.
That's right. After pirating Promise, he took it to Israel, and then the Robert Maxwell, the publisher, started distributing Promise on behalf of the Mossad. So that big back door is going all over the world. And that guy that invented Promise, when it didn't have a back door, he lost it. He lost out. The decision was overturned. And the Department of Justice, who wanted to have that Promise all along, he said, no, I'll lease it to you, but it's mine. I don't mind if you use it, you pay rent. They didn't want to do that. They wanted to own it. And by means, not very straight means, they got it from him. So now, then it had the back door put in it by the CIA. And of course, the CIA and the Mossad worked together. Everybody knows that. And then it was taken over to Israel. So that's the back door. Everything we do goes in that back door.
I'm not allowed to know.
Every nation.
Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people know even who the Mossad is, Sydney, and I just wanted to say that's the Israeli equivalent to the CIA.
Absolutely.
And are indeed Illuminati. It's nothing to do with Judaism.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much
So
for your
that's
call.
the
And
history on that.
That's so interesting it would bring up the Promise software.
Yeah, that's your back door.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Will something happen on February 2, tomorrow? Not Sunday, Monday. I just don't know for sure. But I can say that before Ramadan ended, there was a lot of Al-Qaeda chatter, they said, that the big attack would take place before February 2, or the next Muslim holy day, because they're going to have to tie it in with the Muslims, because that's who they're going to blame it on. Do you know Mojo Radio, talk radio for guys, AM 640, A View from Space, that TV execs met to discuss coverage of the next attack in the United States? Yeah. A summit meeting of TV anchormen and their bosses with Homeland Security Secretary Tom Ridge. And they discussed how they were going to cover the next terrorist attack in America. Who was present? ABC, CBS, CNN, NBC, and Fox. Stephen Brill had a summit meeting. Had all the bosses over for dinner at his Fifth Avenue apartment last Tuesday night, along with Tom Ridge. Brill's got this book out called After. It details the response to 9/11, spearheads the American Prepared campaign to educate the public, or brainwash them, really. So the article fell into my hands. Joining Brill, his wife Cynthia, and 2 other kids for dinner were Fox Channel boss Roger Ailes, ABC newsman David Weston, CBS News chief Andrew Hayward, and the guy I affectionately like to call the priest, CNN's anchor Aaron Brown. He's so soothing at night, and so friendly, and so conniving. Plus Peter Jennings was there and Tom Brokaw, sure. All the big ones were there. Check this out, more evidence. Arabic Daily, Al-Qaeda preparing big operation to coincide with Eid al-Adha, the Feast of the Sacrifice. February 2nd is the Feast of the Sacrifice, by the way. The new Bin Laden tape will explain the details. Eid al-Adha is one of the 2 major Muslim holidays, and it's celebrated on the 10th day of the Islamic month, Dhul Hajj, the last month of the Islamic calendar. Millions of Muslims from around the world make an annual pilgrimage to Mecca. How about that? That's in Saudi Arabia. Check the money that's coming there, that tourist place. Because everybody, at least once in their life, has to go to Mecca. And the King Fod's just sitting raking in the cash. As well as all the oil he's sitting on with his British American buddies. Information coordinator for the Sahab Institute, which is associated with Al-Qaeda, said that, when I say Al-Qaeda, I mean Illuminati, okay? Said that a new videotape of Bin Laden will be circulated shortly before the holiday. He added in an interview with the internet site, which is Arabic for the news, Al-Anba, that the videotape will surface in conjunction with a great event that will shake the region. He refused to confirm or deny that he had a pre-taped video of Bin Laden, but he said that when the event occurs, it will be broadcast on Al Jazeera. Oh, we know it will be. That's where the BBC gets all their Bin Laden hits from. Spin that one more time, boys. Here's some more.